In the span of a few short years, ISIS has become one of the most powerful terrorist groups in the world. So how have they gotten so big? Through the smuggling and selling of the world's most valuable resource, oil, ISIS has been able to flip the profits and fund their terrorist activities. ISIS does not have many big political backers. Almost all of their revenue comes from their sales of oil. They have been taking advantage of old illegal oil routes that were put in place back when the United States put sanctions on Iraq. Using their profits from oil sales, ISIS has been able to buy local tribes in their area. They use the tribes' land for bases and use the people of the tribes as soldiers. A lot of the oil has also been traded for weapons, allowing them to carry out even more terrorist attacks on innocent people. Many people are appalled at the fact that traders are buying oil from a terrorist group. However, what they fail to realize is that ISIS sells their oil for as low as $10 a barrel. That is one-fifth of the price of crude oil in the normal market. These low prices make it hard for traders to listen to their morals when there is such a large profit to be made. ISIS sells their oil to independent traders and middlemen from Qatar, who have much more extensive connections. ISIS has a cash flow of nearly $3 million a day due to the sale of oil, which equates to around $500 million per year. This makes ISIS by far the wealthiest terrorist organization in history. ISIS also makes a profit by taxing the people of the lands they take over, and just recently they took over the Iraq Central Bank, which had a monetary value of $500 million to $1 billion. All this money helps fund the self-sufficiency of ISIS and makes them very powerful. So how has ISIS been getting all this cheap oil? Well, they simply take it. When ISIS takes over land, they take all the assets, including the oil. It is estimated that they own 60% of all oil assets in Syria and 7 oil-producing assets in Iraq. When transporting the oil, they load it up onto trucks and move from the oil field to Turkey. Along the way, they use their connections to easily go through checkpoints set up by local governments. This raises questions and red flags about local policing in the area. Once they get to the border of Turkey, they give it to many different affiliates. The oil is sold to mercenaries who then transport it to the rest of the region. Many would imagine that the locals of a region controlled by ISIS would rise up and try to take back their land. However, ISIS is simply too powerful and too influential for that to happen. ISIS provides for the people that they take over, especially the poor ones, because they know that they will keep their regime more sturdy if they appeal to the lowest of the low. They supply energy and fuel to those who desperately need it in order to gain their support. They also recruit by appealing to the poorest people in an area. They offer the poor money and safety if they go and fight for ISIS and listen to their orders. As I mentioned before, ISIS makes around $500 million a year. Almost all this money goes to fund their terror attacks and feed their agenda. They pay the poor to go kill innocent people and take over more land in order to feed their growing regime. By growing, they spread their ideas and beliefs to more people and acquire more oil fields, leading to more profits. They have killed millions of people worldwide, most notably the Pray for Paris attacks in November. And they have used their wealth and power to become the biggest villains in the world. The rest of the world has not been taking ISIS lying down. Steps are being taken every day to defeat them. Although there have been rumors of some higher-ups in their government being linked to ISIS, Turkey, one of the biggest markets for ISIS's oil, has been beefing up their border security. They have been seizing more and more of ISIS's oil and have decreased the amount of smuggled oil into their country. The United States and Russia, however, have been leading the fight against the Islamic State. They have been leading with airstrikes from drones onto ISIS oil fields, tankers, pipelines, and have been attacking many of ISIS bases and killing leaders. Hopefully, if more countries join the fight against the terror in the next few years, ISIS can be eradicated for good.